welcome into another episode of Fox 54 Sports Extra. That's Gabe Glassman, and I am Mo Carter, and this is the best 30 minutes of your Sunday evening. Lots of things going on this week, Gabe, and you were ripping and running.
Yeah, and I will say we're going to be continuing to rip and run because I don't know if you realize this, next week, football, and we're getting all of the preseason love this week so far, Mo.
Indeed. Hey, let's show the folks what's on tap for this evening.
All right, the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers both kicked off preseason camp this week, and one of the biggest stories for both teams comes at the position of quarterback. Plus, the Alabama A&M and UNA football squads are already into week 2 of their preseason practices. We've got updates from the Hill and the Shoals.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame inducting 5 new members this weekend, and we have a special report on one of the guys who dominated during his time in the NFC South Division. Plus, lots of local and state-based guys are doing well in preseason NFL camps around the league. We'll hear from a number of them, and we'll wrap things up with our best of the week.
The Auburn Tigers have not had a winning season since 2020, when current Denver Broncos QB Bo Nix was the starting signal caller. Since then, the Auburn offense has sputtered due to inconsistent play of 7 quarterbacks over the next 5 years. This season, the guys on the Plains are looking for change thanks to the new big man on campus. Grad transfer QB Byron Brown followed Alex Golesh to the Plains, and he's looking to bring along a string of success that was last seen at USF. Last season, Brown racked up more than 4,000 yards of total offense and scored 42 total touchdowns while leading USF to a 9-4 record. Brown and the offense made strides in the spring. According to him, there are early flashes of brilliance in the early portion of camp.
Everyone's on the same page. You're not like guys aren't catching up or at a different spot. We came into fall camp ready to roll. Like, that's why the first day and today was really good. And obviously things to clean up, but from spring practice 1 to fall camp practice 1, you can see it's a huge difference in the offense.
All right, let's go from the Plains over to the Capstone. Stop me if you heard this before.
Okay.
Alabama has a quarterback competition that will go well into fall camp.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
All right. In the last decade and a half, we've seen a number of battles. A.J. McCarron versus Phillip Sims. Blake Sims versus Jacob Coker. And who can forget Jalen Hurts against Tua Tagovailoa. Now we're seeing it playing out right now with Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. All eyes will be on numbers 10 and 12 this preseason. Both Mack and Russell, they were highly recruited players coming out of high school at their position. And even during the spring practices, the competition was tight. Head coach Daniel DeBoer would not give us a timeline on making the decision for a starting quarterback, but he did highlight what both guys are doing well early on.
I thought they were consistent. Met a couple explosive plays in there. A couple plays you can just see getting on the same page with a receiver type guy. It might not be a receiver, but tight ends, running backs, just little details. So I thought they were consistent. And love the demeanor, love their just command, the way they're into it. You can see the belief that the guys have in them.
Besides a great offensive line, one thing that can help a young QB is a solid rushing attack. And that was virtually non-existent in 2025 as the Crimson Tide rushed for 1,562 yards and only averaged 104 yards on the ground per game. The dismal numbers had the Tide ranked in the bottom 5 of the SEC. Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb looks to change that.
Simplify and do your best stuff. Don't get an inch deep and a mile wide. Do what you're good at and be great at it. And Coach Clem has done an excellent job with, helping build that. Been between him and Rich Owens. Been super excited working with those two guys and resurrecting the run game, and we will.
All right, representatives from both Auburn and Alabama had a lot to chat about throughout the week as they wrapped up their first week of preseason camp. For more content, check out the Fox 54 app and also our Fox 54 digital entities like our YouTube page. Sticking with football, the preseason coaches poll for 2026 was unveiled today. Ohio State and Oregon are the top 2 teams in the poll. Georgia, Texas, and Notre Dame round out your top 5. Defending national champ Indiana is 6th. Then Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Alabama are 8 through 11. All right. Most head coaches, they're excited to see their players put on the helmets and shoulder pads and sometimes the cleats. But Coach Brent Dearman, he was excited about the fact that his guys had pants on this week. I'm not kidding, everyone. Stay tuned for this great explanation next.
I'm on my way. Should I bring something?
Nah, man, I got it covered. I got the screens, I got the games, got 2 grills going.
You win the lottery or what?
Nah, my family switched to T-Mobile and we saved like $1,000 when we bundled our phone lines with internet.
So you did win the lottery.
Here to bring what matters together. Families save up to $1,000 a year when they bundle 4 phone lines with the fastest 5G home internet. And your price won't go up for the next 5 years.
Saving money is now more important than ever for seniors. But if you purchased a $9.95 guaranteed acceptance plan, you could easily find yourself overpaying for very little life insurance coverage. With the $9.95 rate, a 65-year-old male receives less than $900 in coverage. For $10,000 in coverage, he would pay over $110 a month with a 2-year waiting period. Fortunately, with Senior Life Insurance Company, he pays less than $58 a month for $10,000 in protection. There's no waiting period, no medical exam, and he saves over $600 a year by choosing Senior Life. A 65-year-old female saves over $400 a year. Don't overpay for your life insurance. Call now to see how much money you could save with Senior Life. We could help you get cash back from your current overpriced policy. Call now to lock in your coverage and low monthly rate. For your free quote, call now.
Is your bath old and outdated, maybe even unsafe? In just one day, Jacuzzi gives you the safety you need and the personal style you want, all at a price you'll love. So your bathroom can go from this to this, this to this, or even this to this. And right now, we're waiving all installation costs and offering no interest or payments for a year.
Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-384-7525.
Sports Extra is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
Welcome back, everyone. Day 6 of UNA's fall camp wrapping up under the night sky in the Shoals earlier in the week. The Lions, they were feeling good during their session because it was the first time that the team had a chance to strap on the full gear. The acclimation period was officially over, and that allowed Brent Dearman and his staff to see their guys in live action situation. Now, the Purple Lions defense, they had quite a day because they could go through the full motion of tackling all the way down to the ground. But eventually the offense got going and challenged their counterparts in the team drills. Now, most head coaches are happy to see their teams in full gear, but head coach Brent Dearman was happy about the fact that his squad had a chance to put on some pants.
Oh, it's huge today. Anytime you put pants on for some reason, I don't know if there's something in the detergent where they wash the pants in, but it gets the guys amped up when they get to pull full pads on. And there's some battles at every position. Anytime I'm battling, and I'm going up and down the depth chart, I got to come out here every day and prove myself. So I feel like the guys were locked in and brought some energy out here today.
Now, UNA fans may remember the impact Michael Johnson had during his college career. In 2009, he was named the Gulf South Conference and D2 National Player of the Year before being inducted into the UNA Athletic Hall of Fame in 2021. What you may not know is the Johnson legacy is standing strong in this year's roster. Michael Johnson currently serves as the linebackers coach for Lion football, but his impact with UNA began before his time on the sidelines. The UNA Athletic Hall of Famer earned multiple All-American nods as a player in the 2000s. But now, the Johnson name is back in purple and gold.
It's been great. I got to be with my dad, get to be with a new unit. Man, it's great out here.
Levy Johnson, Michael's son, is a newcomer to North Alabama. The redshirt junior was most recently with South Alabama before making his way to Florence.
Sitting in my apartment in Mobile, I was on the phone. They were in the staff meeting. I told them I'm on the way, but I got to get back in the gym. Like, I lost a lot of weight, hurt my ankle, but ever since then, we done straightened it back up, and I'm back to tip-top shape.
Michael could barely believe the news when Levy told him he was going to be a Lion.
I had to pinch myself just to make sure I was awake, that my baby boy wanted to be around his dad at such a crucial time in his life. It's kind of like raising a kid and they're paying you back. You know, when you raise them the right way, they want to be back around you again later in life, and it's just a big cycle, and I love being around them every day.
The family bond may be shared, but there's no shortage of competition.
Since he's the linebacker coach, man, it's nothing but smoke right now. I got to get it in with his guys. So if it would have been different, he would have stayed as running back, but he had linebackers now, so I got to do it to his guys.
I was coaching one of my linebackers, and one of the blitzes that he had to lock up with my son, and I find myself not rooting for my son during practice, and then I watch film and I'm like, ooh, that's my baby. And I just got to pinch myself.
And while the competition remains strong, Michael says getting to compete side by side with his son is something special.
To be able to impart in his life, to be a part of his decisions that he makes, to kind of guide him in the rest of life off the field. God's been good to me, man.
All right, the countdown is on for the UNA Lions as they take on Sanford in the Financial Partners Bowl at Joe Davis Stadium. Kickoff week 0 on August 29th is set for 6 p.m.
All right, thanks, Gabe. Now, UNA is one of the many college football programs who will kick off their season during week 0 of the year. Now, the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, they are another recently, and they wrapped up another week of fall camp, but not before reaching an important milestone. Gabe also went to the Hill to get a recap of their first scrimmage of the season.
Kickoff of the 2026 college football season is officially 3 weeks away for Alabama A&M, but inside Lewis Crews Stadium, the Bulldogs are getting in their first scrimmage of fall camp.
I thought it was back and forth, but I thought it was good for the first scrimmage.
Some highlight reel plays being made in the first scrimmage of the session for Alabama A&M. Head coach Sam Shade says the offense got a hot start with the defense coming back later on. With the first game day inching closer, Shade says seeing the competitiveness is key.
That's the only way I know you can get better is facing competition. You've got to really compete each and every day in order to get better, in order to push yourself past a limit that you think you have. And so myself and this coaching staff, we pride ourselves on really pushing our guys to compete each and every day, each and every practice.
After seeing some post-play penalties early in the camp, Coach Shade says his team took a step in the right direction with some more work to be done.
I thought our discipline was good. Still too many procedure penalties, offsides and things like that, still too many of that. But having the officials out here today, I think that's going to help us when we go back and watch the film and just say, hey, we gave up a lot of yards and penalties, and we got to correct that.
As the Bulldogs enter year 2 of the Sam Shade era, wide receiver Jordan Chambersmith is also entering his sophomore season. The Tuscaloosa native caught for nearly 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in his freshman campaign. Chambersmith is focused on stepping into a leadership role in 2026.
Being the same guy every day, coming in with the same impact, and just being that same guy every day. I like everybody in our group. We got a really good group. Everybody that was on the field today has a chance to play, and we're all doing well, thriving well.
He's really just picked up where he left off, which that's great because that means he's been working the whole offseason, the offseason workout program, spring ball. When you put the work in, you see the growth when you come back going into a new season.
The time is winding down toward week 0. It's when the Bulldogs will travel to Atlanta to face Howard in the 2026 MEAC SWAC Challenge. Kickoff on August 29th is set for 6:30 p.m.
All right, let's take another sports media timeout. Coming up next, the Pro Football Hall of Fame welcoming 5 new members to Canton this week, and among them is perhaps the greatest player to ever wear black and gold in New Orleans. More on that next on Sports Extra.
There's a quiet magic at work here. One conjured through time and tradition. And powerful enough to bring any family together.
Bounce is bringing the action.
This is LAPD SWAT.
The suspense.
NCIS. With federal agents.
And back-to-back episodes of your favorite shows.
Any questions? Sounds good to me.
Wednesdays on Bounce. Shamar Moore in SWAT. Go. And Thursdays on Bounce. LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell in NCIS Los Angeles. 2 teams, 1 mission in back-to-back action-packed nights.
You're gonna have to cancel your plans. I could think of a couple of reasons.
SWAT in NCIS Los Angeles on Bounce.
We've always been heads up about money, but sometimes life throws you a curve, like juggling college for our son and what it might take to help my dad if he needs it. He's always been there for us. Our Regions Green Print plan helped us feel more prepared for whatever comes next. And Mike went the extra mile for us with great advice. We feel like we've got this.
Extra confidence from Greenprint. Extra know-how from our people. Extra is our ordinary at Regions.
Relax and enjoy the outdoors with the new hot tub or golf cart from Whisper Outdoor. Hot tubs on sale now with over 20 models at $49.99 or below. Revolutionary swim spas that can heat or chill the water. patent and plug and power spas with high performance and no special wiring. Luxury Whisper golf carts starting at $59.99. Whisper UTV side-by-sides as low as $49.99. In-house financing available. Bad credit, no problem, 100% approvals. Shop us now at whisperoutdoor.com.
Change is inevitable.
Okay.
But one thing will always remain the same.
I'll let you have that.
We'll always lend you a hand when you need one.
Appreciate you. Okay. See you next week. All right. Good night. Good night.
What's your case worth? Injury.com by Morgan & Morgan.
Welcome back, everyone. A new crop of gridiron greats were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this past weekend. Among them was a quarterback who transformed a franchise and a city into winners and gave the fan base a new reason to believe following Hurricane Katrina. Here's Seth Lewis from our sister station WWL of New Orleans.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame ceremony felt very poetic for Drew Brees on Saturday. Inside Tom Benson Stadium, he wore gold once again, but this time in his Hall of Fame jacket. He was reunited and teamed up with head coach Sean Payton, but this time to reveal his bronze bust. And while his playing career ended in a depleted dome in 2020 during COVID, Who Dat fans made sure they showed up to complete and enshrine his football career, with Brees easily getting the loudest ovation. There's never been a relationship in sports like Brees and the fans in New Orleans, and he was emotional while talking about that bond.
It doesn't take you long to realize what makes New Orleans so special. New Orleans has been through a lot, to the point where in some cases the feeling was we may have lost everything. It may never come back the same. Storms teach us that our greatest treasures aren't the things that we own. They're the people we love and the way we show up for one another. It reminds us to hold our loved ones a little closer, to love a little harder, to laugh a little louder, and to never take a single day for granted. Sometimes it takes losing what can be replaced to truly appreciate the things that can't. New Orleans, you accepted me, you embraced me, you believed in me, but more importantly, you trusted me with the soul of the city, and I would have died to protect that calling.
Brees becomes the fifth primary Saint to enter the Hall of Fame, but he is the first ballot Hall of Famer in franchise history. Pretty fitting for a guy whose career was defined by milestones. In Canton, Seth Lewis.
Since the beginning of training camp, Atlanta Falcons running back Bijan Robinson has been present, but he hadn't been practicing with the team due to contract negotiation. Well, that all changed on Tuesday as Atlanta and Robinson agreed to a record-breaking deal. Maria Martin from her sister station 11 Alive in Atlanta has more.
I think it's kind of rare to do a deal, especially a running back deal 2 years early. So for them to do that was definitely something that I'll never forget.
The Falcons' newly extended $75 million superstar running back Bijan Robinson is every bit as advertised. His versatility and athleticism is imperative to the way this offense works. But aside from that, he's just a really good teammate. And also, he's now the highest paid running back in NFL history.
I don't think the guy's ever done anything wrong before. He's just like an all-around good human being. I enjoy blocking for him. I enjoy the way he treats the O-line and shows up to work. There's no ounce of him that is entitled.
We make a joke in the quarterback room sometimes. We're like, if you get in trouble, just beat it. I mean, just give him the ball, and something good is going to happen.
Perhaps the hardest part for Bijan throughout this process was not being able to practice while the contract was being finalized. Now he's on a ramp-up period and anxious to keep working at what he does best, but not before reflecting on what got him to this point.
Arthur Smith texted me this morning. I want to just say thank you to him. He made it hard for me for a reason. And when I first got here, he made me do everything, and he had a plan for me, and he made me go to receiver, kickoff return, punt return, running back. I did everything, and I had to know everything. And for him to do that, now that I'm sitting here reflecting on that, it was all for a reason, obviously.
On the other side of the ball, it is officially a torn ACL for star pass rusher Jalen Walker, which means he will be out for the remainder of the season. Outside linebackers coach John Timu told us Jalen's versatility is going to be very hard to replace on that side of the ball. Up next, the Falcons have to figure out which player or players fill that gap. Here covering Falcons training camp, Maria Martin, 11 Alive Sports.
Thank you so much, Maria. Well, guess what? Robinson's record deal did not last long. 48 hours later, Detroit Lions and Jahmyr Gibbs agreed on a 3-year, $67 million extension. The deal is actually worth up to $75 million with incentives, and it makes Gibbs now the highest paid running back in NFL history. Gibbs hasn't been participating in training camp practices with the Detroit Lions as the Lions and his party were trying to negotiate a deal. Last year, he rushed for over 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. We will hear from Mr. Gibbs later in the week.
Now, Sean Payton told us back in May that he would ease Bo Nix back into the groove of being the starting QB following his offseason surgery. Well, it looks like that easing period is over. Former Auburn QB has had full command of the Denver Broncos offense as he moves and throws with confidence and precision. His connection to Jalen Waddle has drawn a lot of reactions from the crowd, and his assertive leadership has drawn respect from the entire franchise. Bo says it's in the culture of a Super Bowl chasing team.
Year one, I'm trying to just, not mess up for the team. And I feel like year three, I'm trying to make plays for the team. So it's just quite the different feeling. It's just a confidence level thing. I think playing as many games as I have already, it's just there's hardly going to be a situation I haven't been in.
Hey, let's stick with big playmakers. The Broncos getting one during the offseason for Bo Nix and that offense. Denver trading a 4th-round pick in exchange for former Alabama standout Jalen Waddle. He joins a team that ranked 10th in total offense and 11th in passing last season. But when asked about making this offense even more dynamic, the 6-year receiver deferred to the rest of the group and this offensive scheme.
I wouldn't even say it's just me. We got a lot of playmakers around us, so they want to get playmakers in space. They want us to get the ball in a hurry, get the ball out fast, just allow us to create plays. So I don't necessarily think it's just me. I just think we have a lot of playmakers, so just designing different things to get us in space.
All right, the Major League Baseball trade deadline occurred this week, and several guys with state ties were on the move. We'll start with Braxton Garrett. The Florence High School alumnus was acquired early in the week by the Chicago Cubs. Garrett has spent most of 2026 in the minors, but he did start 2 games for the Miami Marlins this season. Now in the minors, he started 15 games, compiled a 4-4 record, and struck out 83 batters in 77 innings of work. In exchange for Garrett, the Miami Marlins will receive Jonathan Long and Jace Beck.
Speaking of the Detroit Tigers, well, we were speaking of baseball. They waited until the final minute of the trade deadline to shift off Casey Mize. The #1 overall pick of the 2018 MLB draft is off to the West Coast to play for the San Diego Padres. Mize has a 2.7 ERA and 4.6 record on the season, but is still on pace to notch over 100 strikeouts for the 3rd time in his career.
All right, boys and girls, get ready. Best of the week is coming up next, and as you see, it's all baseball related. Stay tuned for that.
The Big Breakfast Sandwich makes mornings twice as nice. That's right, get 2 big breakfast sandwiches for just $7. That's Texas toast, eggs, cheese, and your choice of bacon, sausage, or smoked sausage ×2. This is Jack's Country, and we're all about the South.
Hi, my name is Dr. Eli Simsolo. As a cardiologist, I know how important getting help fast is during an emergency. Falls are the leading cause of injury and death in adults 65 and older. Unfortunately, every 20 minutes an elderly adult will die from a fall. These are not good statistics. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button sends help fast, 24/7.
This is Life Alert. Do you have an emergency?
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
We're sending help right now.
From falls to heart attacks or any emergency, Life Alert is the only medical alert service that saves a life every 11 minutes. Plus, their devices never need charging, so you stay protected 24/7.
For information or a free brochure, call 1-800-453-1965. That's 1-800-453-1965. Call now, 1-800-453-1965.
At Planet Fitness, no 2 members are alike, but they all have one thing in common. They're all strong.
That's right.
We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
One more? I got 5 more.
Catfish baskets are back in Jack's Country. So we're working with professional noodler Allie from Alabama to bring you the crispy catfish tenders y'all love. Don't forget the golden fries and biscuit.
Thank you.
Yeah, all about the South.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, watch extended coverage on FOX54 Plus.
And welcome back, everyone. Before we get out of here, of course, we got to wrap things up with another edition of Best of the Week. Gabe and I decided to hook you up with some baseball highlights for this upcoming week. So, Gabe, you're up first, bud.
Well, yeah, we're still in the whole baseball season here. Let's go down to Roger Dean Stadium in South Florida. Jacob Lombard in his pro debut with the Jupiter Hammerheads. Talk about making a good first impression. That ball is out of here in his pro debut. But what makes this even better, his brother, George Lombard Jr., in his MLB debut with the Yankees, on the same day, he hits basically the same shot as his brother. That's his family right there, you see. And August 4th will be one to remember for the Lombard family because both of the guys got their first home run on the same day.
Main topic of conversation for Thanksgiving this year, I guarantee it. All right, here's my best of the week. The Boston Red Sox starting ace Peyton Toll. Man, he had a phenomenal outing last Friday as he tallied not 12, not 13, but 14 strikeouts and only giving up just 2 hits and 1 earned run off of a home run and 0 walks in just 6 innings pitched. First and foremost, anytime you get to double-digit strikeouts, it is legit. But then the fact that the man added 4 more to that 10 total is very nice.
Yeah, I feel like pitching is probably one of the most underrated talents you can have. I mean, I certainly can't throw a fastball 97 miles per hour. And then
Me neither.
You got to have the control as well. That's why we see pitchers get talked about a lot more. That's why it's super impressive when you see guys like Shohei. He balls out, with a bat in his hand.
I mean, he's one of a kind, though.
Yeah,
he's one of a
kind, but then he gets on the mound and then he just does what he does as well. MLB was all over my Twitter, my ex this week with the trade deadline and everything. I don't know about it for you, but it was a pretty exciting trade deadline.
I mean, that's the thing. Like the 2 that we talked about with Garrett and Casey Mize, those are just 2 of the bigger names that we had from a state base or whatever. But like I said, all across the board, like it was pretty wild and crazy. Of course, ESPN always does their trade deadline, whatchamacallit, and of course, you get to right there within that last 30 minutes, all of a sudden, everything starts popping up.
See all the posts, and we didn't even get to it. Tarek Skubal going to the Dodgers as well. Lots of talk about that. That Dodgers roster is looking stacked as always right now. But you got Tarek Skubal too. That starting rotation, it really looks like you're building a team in a video game with that now.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us here on another episode of FOX54 Sports Extra. For Gabe Glassman, I'm Mo Carter. Have yourself a great night, a great week, and we'll see you next time on your favorite channel.